What do you got, buddy? What do you got? Hello, mister. Alright guys, we're down here with Jack for our week 1 video recap. You guys all like to try to bring the toy into the potty box. Yeah, you don't need to bring it over there. In these videos, we're going to go over all of the behaviors that we've been practicing with the puppies for the last week, so you can see their progress and how well they're doing. We like to get them warmed up with a little bit of play first. This is a flirt pole. This is a fun toy for dogs. Yeah, what do you got? We can play tug with it like Jack is doing right now. What do you got? If I win it back from him, then I can flirt it around on the ground like this, and it's also fun for the puppy to chase. Then I'm gonna let him catch it again. Wow, look at you, you're so fast. And then we're gonna play a little bit of tug again. Yeah, is that fun? This is one of my favorite toys, especially for puppies, because you can teach them about cooperative play, right? I can be up here while the puppy's down there. There's no risk of the puppy accidentally biting me when they're trying to bite the toy, or just get over aroused and try to bite at my clothes or my hair or something like that. Yeah, good boy, Jack. Do you love the flirt pole? And when we're tugging, it's just very gentle right now, right? Like, obviously I'm stronger than the puppy. I don't want to be dragging Jack across the ground. I don't want to be picking him up off the ground. That's not safe. Good job, bub. So just like little gentle tugs. I'm matching what Jack is tugging. Ooh, I stole it from you. All right, I think I'm going to steal this back from him for right now, though, because we're going to get started with our training exercises. So in your initial confirmation email, you should have received links to a few different resources. One of those resources is the video library on our webpage for the Stay and Train program. I want you, after you're done watching your puppy's recap video here, to go and check out that video library and watch the videos for week 1, okay? I go into more detail there on all of these behaviors, how we train them and why, so you know what to keep practicing at home. And I just don't have the time to do that in every single recap video, so that's why I made that video library for you, okay? So Jack is ready to train. The very first thing that we start with is charging the clicker. I want the puppy to understand that the sound of the click means that their food reward is coming. Okay, so with each training session, we start by just charging the clicker for a few reps. So that's what I'm doing with Jack right now. I'm just clicking and offering him a piece of food. Yes, and he knows what the clicker means. What a good boy. Now we're gonna start to use the clicker to train behavior. We're gonna start with something very simple, which is just following a food lure. I wanna hold my treat against a flat palm, and I'm gonna take my thumb, and that cookie's gonna be right underneath my thumb, okay? This way, I avoid holding it like this, and then the dog might start to bite at your fingers. If you hold it like this, then the puppy can be attached to the food lure, and they're just licking the food lure. They're not using their teeth, okay? So once he's connected to my hand, I'm gonna have him follow the cookie for a few steps. Then I'm gonna mark with the clicker and release the treat just by moving my thumb out of the way, okay? So whenever we use food in training, this is how I'm holding the food. Teaches the dog not to bite at my fingers, and it's a very effective way to move your dog around. Good boy. Once we've done that a few times, we can start to pair it with his name. Jack. So this is how you teach your dog their name. What a good boy. Jack. Good job, buddy. Let's do that one more time with our food lure. Where is it? Jack. You can also see that I'm going back and forth between sometimes using my left hand and sometimes using my right hand. One more time. Jack. I want the puppy to be able to follow food in both of my hands. Good job, buddy. You're so smart. So we started with a few reps of charging the clicker, and we moved into following the food lure, and then finally we played a little bit of the name game with following the food lure. Look at you. You love to play, huh? Yeah. This is my favorite flirt pole for puppies and small dogs. I'll even still use it with my big dogs sometimes. Whoa, aren't you so tough? Look at you, buddy. You can find this flirt pole right on Amazon, and actually on my website on the products page, there's a link right to it. if you wanted to check that out. What do you got? Look at you, Bubby. Are you so smart? Whoa, you're so tough. You're gonna bring it into the potty box again. Give me that. Give me that. Oh, good job, buddy. All right, I'm gonna steal it back from him again, and we're gonna work on our next few exercises. Now we're gonna practice a hand target. The hand target is going to look very similar to following a food lure, but there is a difference. I'm gonna disconnect my food hand from the puppy, and when he reconnects with my food hand, that's when I'm gonna mark with the clicker and let him have the treat, okay? So let me demonstrate that for you now. We're gonna start the puppy on a food lure, just like this, but I'm gonna disconnect my hand from him. Touch. We call this behavior touch, and when he targets his cute little nose to my flat palm, that's when I mark with the clicker and release the cookie. Jack, touch. Good boy. I'm also starting with his name, again. Good way to teach your dog what their name is. Jack, touch. Aren't you a smarty pants? Let's do one more hand target. Jack, touch. Good job. The other thing that we introduced to our puppies in week 1 is a release cue. So I'm just going to show him the food and say, okay, and let him find that piece of food on the ground. Right here, bud. As little baby puppies, their eyesight isn't completely developed yet. And so sometimes you got to point out those cookies. Okay. So this is part of the learning process. I want the dog to understand that the word okay means that I'm probably going to toss a piece of food on the ground. Okay. Yeah, there you go, Bubs. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Good job. Now I'm going to show you how we use the release cue in action. We start again just by introducing that cue the way that we charge the clicker. We sort of charge the release cue a few times before we actually use it. And we're going to use it with our first position change. So this week we introduced sit. So I'm going to get Jack on the food lure. There he is. He's nice and connected. Lure him into the sit. Sit. I'm going to click and feed him for sitting. Then I'm going to say okay and release him out of the sit position. Okay, so it's a nice way to tell the dog you're all done doing that. You can get up now. So watch me do that a couple more times. I'm going to get him on the food lure. Jack, sit. Mark the sit, and then, okay, release him out. Good job, buddy. Let's do one more. Jack, sit. Okay. What a smart dog. All right, we can use the release cue for other behaviors as well. Let me get a couple more treats here. And this week we introduced the first steps in the mat. Okay, the mat is going to turn into a stay type behavior, but we have to teach this in tiny little baby steps for our tiny baby puppies. We start this just by setting the mat down on the ground, and if Jack can get 4 paws on, that's what I'm going to mark with the clicker. Good boy. And then I'm going to start to come down with those cookies. I'm going to feed him a few in a row. And at this stage in the game, usually you got to point them out to the dog. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Then we're going to use that release cue again. Okay. And that's going to mean you can come off the mat. Okay. You're going to pick it up, move it, and do the same exact thing. We're going to wait for 4 paws. There it is. Mark the 4 paws with the clicker and come on in and start to feed him those cookies. When we're ready, okay, release him off the mat. Let me grab a few more cookies and we're going to do that one more time. Are you so smart, buddy? Yeah. Where's that mat? There's 4 paws. Very good boy. Very smart boy. And Jack is offering me a down right now. That's great. I'm going to roll with it. But it's also one of the things that we're going to add for next week, okay? Good job, buddy. Okay. Ugh, that one stuck to my finger. It's right here. It's right there. I know, those are real soft. Good job, Bubs. So smart. Where's your toy? We're gonna take a little play break again because we just did a few more things. I like to try to take a break for each every few behaviors. And we're here working with the puppies and going through you know, all of their behaviors all at once. So it's good for us to take little play breaks in between. At home, you can certainly maybe just pick like 2 or 3 things to practice. And then later in the day or even the next day, do another 2 or 3 things. You don't have to go through this entire list of behaviors all at once like we're doing in your recap videos. And honestly, that's probably what I would suggest with a little baby, is to break them up. Yeah, good boy. Oh my God, you're so tough. You're so tough. Give me that toy. Oh, I got it. Oh, you caught it again because you're so fast. Look at you. Good job, buddy. What a good boy. All right, so we've got a couple more things for me to show you. We're going to move into our handling exercises and the harness, introducing them to the harness, okay? So let's do some handling exercises first. I'm going to grab a few pieces of food. These exercises are going to be fantastic for socializing your dog for groomer and veterinary visits. Your dog is going to need a lifetime, ooh, look out, bub, a lifetime of grooming and veterinary care, especially with the breed of dog that these guys are. We want to make sure that we're setting them up for success and that they're comfortable and confident with the type of handling that's going to need to happen for groomer and vet care, okay? So I've got food in one hand. This hand is empty. I'm just going to start by petting him. Yes. For this exercise, I'm using the verbal marker yes. I just don't feel like I have enough hands to use the clicker at the same time. So every time I say yes, I'm going to be giving him a cookie from my hand. So start by petting him. Then I'm going to take this hand and bring it underneath his belly. I want to stabilize the dog. I want to restrain them. I want to hold them still. Yes. And then I'm going to give him a cookie or 2 for holding still, okay? From here, I'm going to start to move into specific body parts. So I'm going to pick up his ear. Yes. Gently massage his ear canal and feed him another treat. And do the same to the other ear. Yes. No, these cookies are so soft. Then I'm going to move on to feet. Yes, good boy. Okay, let's see this foot. If I drop food on the ground, I'm just going to pick it up or not bring attention to it at all. There we go. Yes, good boy. Yes, very nice. Yes. And tail. Yes, good boy. And then we're going to release him out. Okay. Release him out of that restraint. I'm going to pick up any food that I dropped on the ground. And that's how we work on our handling exercises for week 1, okay? Just getting the puppy comfortable with being touched all over, handling every body part. Okay, and being held still a little bit, all right? He did really good with that. So now we're going to move on to getting him dressed in his harness. We want to introduce and socialize our puppies to any sort of walking gear that they might have to wear early on, so that way they're comfortable and confident in it. We have the step-in style harnesses here. There are a million different types of harnesses on the market. I believe the puppies will go home with this type of harness. But as your puppy grows and matures, if you want to try a different type of harness for them, this one's too small, bub. You got to go one size up. I find the easiest way to get dogs dressed in the step-in style harness is just to pick them up, especially if they're small dogs. Get their feet through first, just like I'm doing. He's kind of in between sizes right now. They're going to grow fast though. Then I'll get the Velcro done. Then I'll get the clip done. Okay. Then I'll set that puppy down on the ground. That way I don't have to worry about the dog trying to escape me if I'm doing it all on the ground. Okay. Good job, buddy. Sometimes they do silly things like he just did, like back up a little bit when they first have their harness on. Some puppies, the first time we put it on, act like they're wearing a straitjacket and they can't move at all. But this is part of the socialization process and why we introduce it to the puppies early. So that way by the time they go home, hopefully they're super comfortable in being in their harnesses. But any puppy that I'm raising, you know, if I want them to be used to a harness, I'm going to be getting that harness on them almost like day one that they come home. So about the age that these guys are right now. And so now you see he's got his harness on and we're playing again. And I'm just teaching him that the harness is no big deal. He can move normally with it on. He can do all of his normal puppy stuff. What are you doing? Give me that toy. Give me that toy. Huh? Oh, there we go. Get it, get it, get it. He can run, he can jump, he can play with his harness on. And we'll kind of add some stuff to the harness each week. And in your week 3 video, I'll show you how to introduce the leash too. Good job, Bubs. All right, but that's everything for Jack for week 1. He did fantastic today. If you have any questions, please just shoot us an email. Make sure you check out all the resources from your initial confirmation page. A lot of instruction there. And we will see you next week for your week 2 recap.